All right.
So I guess we might be good.
Yeah, I think we'll be back. All right, man.
All right.
We're back, guys. We're back.
Again, apologize for the technical difficulties here.
Yeah.
But back to where we was at in terms of just getting back to, like I said, that most recent video that we actually updated
Yes.
to your
Yeah.
page and YouTube and the
Yeah.
YouTube page.
Mm-hmm.
Just like I said, that John, just I think that really set a good foundation for anybody that may be into a degree of being, you know, able to get engaged to want to do some type of sport, whatever it is, even if it's Taekwondo or any other kind of sport.
Right.
But to know that, you know, you're going to have a support system of people that actually have gone through those type of challenges and obstacles and adversity.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, the main concept of that, what I got out of that was just kind of like, regardless of whatever goes on around you, you know what's inside of you. Keep training, stay focused, keep doing the best that you can do, and eventually you will be successful in anything. So that's why I think I took a lot of that out of that video.
Yeah.
And I think it kind of is a credit to, even to the speech that Denzel Washington, that you had kind of like blended into that. Because it just kind of had like a universal statement and principle that go behind that concept of why the message of this, regardless of what you do, keep training, stay focused, keep working hard regardless.
Yeah.
So.
Well, you know, that message was big for me. You know what I'm saying? I felt like that, you know, the Denzel Washington thing, you know, the speech that he had was just, was major. I felt like that it was something that it really hit the chords for me as well. And I would think it would hit the chord for everybody else, you know, at the same time, I believe we're doing a great job. I believe that we're moving forward. We want to get closer and closer to our audience.
Yes.
You know,
more personal.
Yeah, we want to get more personal with our audience. We want people to chime in, make their comments. Make your comments right now, man, so we can know that everything is okay. If everything is okay with the live right now, just if it's okay, if you guys can hear us, just make a comment online right now. Let us know everything is okay, that you can hear us or you can see us. Just let us know that everything is good so that we can continue to keep on moving forward, because we've been having some major technical difficulties with our live feed for the past hour or so. So, you know, just bear with us. We're moving forward. Ethan Wilson said, what happened? A.E., what happened? You know, we've had some technical difficulties with our live feed, man. So if you can hear us right now, just make a comment. Let me know that you can hear me.
Yes.
And we'll continue to move forward so we can move on with our guests, with our new feed, with our segment here. You know, but everybody, won't you guys come on in? Yeah, people are trying to jump in now. They want to go ahead and hear what we got going on here with the live feed. What's that? What up, B? What's up, little B? What's up, baby B? Hey, man, listen, if you guys can hear us, let me know. Let's say something right now. Make a comment online and say, yeah, we can hear you. And then we can continue to keep going with our live feed, because we got some special guests that we want to bring on the show, so we can continue to keep it moving. Let us know what's going on. So we're going to continue to keep on moving. So you guys make a comment. Let us know that you guys can hear us, so we can move on forward. Again, we've been having technical difficulties with our live feed. Okay, all clear. All right, thanks, B.
Okay, thanks.
All right, bet. So back again, man. So again, you know, we're back on live. We're moving forward. We want you guys to continue to chime in, comment in, you know, let us know what's going on. But let's go ahead and move on with the segment.
Right. Yeah,
all right,
so sit back and enjoy this one, because I think what we're doing is, as you can see, basically going back to the concept of why we even set this platform up, was to kind of give honor and recognition to some of the greats that actually had a major contribution to the sport of Taekwondo.
Yeah.
On all levels. I mean, we're not just talking where even, you know, the greatest accomplishment is to go to a world level and an elite level and an Olympic level and all that. But, you know, you got to have a foundation to start from right now. And it should start from just getting into a general foundation of schools that are actually out there, that has good, credible students, athletes, or coaches that have the experiences there that can actually help guide any new entering athletes, and give some parents some more insight in terms of what to expect when you go into a sport like this.
Yes.
Especially taking to that world level, that elite Olympic style championship level.
Yeah.
So it definitely comes with a lot of hard work and a lot of dedication and commitment to it. So
that's why I honestly just want everybody to understand that it's not just me that's been through this.
right, yeah,
You know, this is why we got a couple of our guests today that are going to be explaining, that they too went through
yes,
the same
yes,
situation, same training regimens, same disciplined work,
and the expectations.
The expectations. They too have been through adversity. They too have been through pain and suffer.
Right.
But at the same time, they too have went through achievement.
Right.
And reaching their goals and being able to get to the point where they wanted to be in the sport of Taekwondo. You know what I'm saying? So again, like I said, we're speaking the truth on Strap Up. We're letting people know that what the sport of Taekwondo has done for myself, has done for you, has done for all of our students.
Right.
But there's more to it than us.
Everybody has a story.
Everyone has a story, and that's what this is all about, man. We want everybody to chime in, let us know, you know what I'm saying, how they feel about the show. Let us know that we, keep on talking. Let everybody know about the show. But we're our main goal is to make sure that everybody knows that the truth is here.
Right.
The truth is to be told.
Right.
And it's going to be told right here on Strap Up. And again, if you don't like it,
Just strap it
then
up.
strap up. You know what I'm saying? That's just the main point. If you don't like what's going on around here, man, it's either you can move on
Or strap up.
or it's just strap up. And I would prefer everybody to just strap up.
Yeah.
That's what I would prefer. Strap up. Put your uniform on. Put that chest guard on. Go out there and win some medals.
Right.
Go out there and win some medals. Work hard, win some medals. Yes, put yourself to the test. You know what I'm saying? Put yourself to the test. So without further ado, we're gonna get ready to try to bring in our we're gonna get ready to bring in our guests, man. Preferably if our guests can go ahead and make a comment and chime in.
Yeah, that they're ready to be brought in. Also, keep in mind, let's hope everybody is still being safe, especially with this pandemic crisis that's going on too now.
Yeah.
We don't want anybody going out there taking any unnecessary risks. You want to make sure that health and wealth and safety is always a top priority in regards to wherever you're traveling or if you have to go out here into the working world where you're dealing with a lot of essential business and stuff like that. So we always want to make sure that everybody's best interest is at heart and in the forefront of responsibility. So hopefully, if anybody's doing any type of following in terms of what the media is saying, it just seems like based on certain status and stuff like that, maybe it may take a little bit longer, and then again, it may not take that much longer before everything can go back to its normal function of operation. With work and us being able to actually get back amongst each other and be able to fellowship in a sense, or be able to be amongst each other where there's no major concern or risk of how close you are to somebody and if anybody's contaminated with anything like that. So, but above all things, health and wealth is a priority. So be sure that you're absolutely safe out there if you have to go out here in the midst of this pandemic. So, and again, what we're going to do is continue to bring any type of information that we want to do that's going to be more resourceful and inciting and impactful for anybody that actually has a genuine love and appreciation for the sport of Taekwondo.
Yeah.
Again, the platform itself is set up not just for myself or Master Smith-Bey to be the main commentators about this, because again, everybody has to some degree a sense of story and experience in the journey of Taekwondo. So we want to give everyone their just due. So so that they actually can come onto this program and come onto this platform, support the movement of what we're doing with Strap Up, because it's all about you being able to celebrate your own accomplishments and the achievements and the success that you went through with the hard work and the investment that goes along with it. So I know just basically acknowledging some of on the live stream, a lot of the Ethan Woodson.
We got Bernard Posey here.
Posey.
He's in the mix. We got a couple other guys that are probably watching. Make your comments and let us know how you guys feel about the show, man, and let us know. So we, because there's going to be plenty more of what's going on here, man, and we're doing our thing, man. We're going to continue to work, continue to grow. As of right now, we're trying to, again, don't mind our technical difficulties, guys. We're trying to get things in order for you guys because we've had real bad weather around here lately. So, again, let us know if you guys can hear us and keep going. so we can keep going. Don't mind the technical difficulties for this episode. It's very, very crazy what's going on right now. We're doing the best that we can, but at the same time, this episode is dedicated to all the athletes out there that are working hard and continue to work hard.
Right.
We're doing something for the people. We're doing something for the athletes. We're doing something for the coaches and trainers out there.
Right.
And we want to set it up properly for everybody. We want everybody to have that platform so they can speak on how they feel about the sport, what they went through, and the hard work that they went through. And we want everybody to just basically work with us, and we're going to work with you all. We want the best for everybody. We want the best for the sport of Taekwondo in the future, and even in the present moment and present time.
Yes. Yeah.
All right, so I'm trying right now to get this in order. This is anybody want, if you have any questions or anything like that, go ahead and post those questions or whatnot. Things are just, these technical things, man, are just really, really bad right now. But any questions or anything like that, concerns or anything like that, let us know. Again, we're trying to put everybody in, so they all can know that we're moving forward with with episode 6.
Yeah. Also, if you had the opportunity to look at the previous episodes and anything, if there's anything that we actually may have shared that may have brought some type of resourcefulness or insight, or anything that may have been of some benefit that you may have taken from the shows, please share that with us too, because like I said, we always like to see what type of feedback we're getting from you all that are either some of the listening audience and stuff, so that if there's anything that we can actually add to make the show better for everybody, because we don't want to make it seem like it's just a biased outlook on things where we just actually have our own opinions or thoughts of what we think about certain things. So we're doing this for everyone. So if there's anything that anybody has to share in regards to any of the previous episodes that they liked about it, if they've taken anything that they probably applied that may have been of some benefit to them, please share that with us. We would like to hear any type of feedback that comes, so that at least lets us know exactly where we stand with the audience out there in terms of what we're doing with this platform.
Yeah. We keep getting cut off, guys. We apologize for all of the discrepancies that's going on, but we keep getting cut off. Yeah, we keep getting cut off.
Ethan said, y'all good, but more people were on.
Yeah. And what's bad is I can't. Yeah. You guys can see us. Is it?
Are we good up there?
We keep getting cut off.
Are we good up there?
Yeah. So
All right.
yeah, that's what it looks like it's going to have to be. We really didn't want to do that.
All right.
We really didn't want to do that. We still okay, so. All right, can you guys hear us? Let us know so we can move on with the show.
Yeah,
we're gonna have to just move on with the show. Nice to see you guys. All right, so you guys, So could you guys hear us? If you guys can hear us, basically.
And then we're just gonna keep rolling.
Yeah, we're just gonna keep rolling, man. We've had some.
Not we're recording on the other.
Yeah, we've had some terrible technical difficulties, guys. Just let us know if you guys can hear us. We'll move on. Yes. Okay. All right, bro.
So let's go ahead.
Let's just go ahead and set it up. Yeah. So anyway, we've had some terrible difficulties with this live stream. We apologize once again. This is not something that we actually wanted to actually happen. But again, we're going to continue to move on and move forward with that. So we're going to bring in our guests. We're going to bring in our guests, you guys.
So, all right, so let's go back. We'll set this thing up. All right, so back to some of our previous episodes, we were talking about some of the values of having great coaches, great trainers, and great athletes that benefit from it. So, and I think we gave reference to a lot of the great coaches and athletes and trainers, just basically throughout all the episodes that we've been given recognition to for their hard work and their commitment and stuff like that. So, it seems like it brings a great deal of honor and privilege to actually have an opportunity now to bring a few of those that we've always referenced onto our live stream show, so that actually the audience can actually get their view and their personal experience in the journey stuff based off of what they went through. Because again, a lot of the information that we have been sharing with them have been just kind of from your observation of what you went through, whether it's been a direct or indirect experience with some of these great athletes and coaches and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So now we're actually being able to have the opportunity to bring some of them on now. So it's not a matter of what we say about them, it's what they actually
are saying themselves. Yeah. So what we're going to do is we're going to bring in our guests. Today we're gonna introduce you guys to one of the best. I'm going to say.
Yes.
First and foremost, let me just go ahead and because of the technical difficulties, we couldn't bring him in on the show live. But what we can do is we can go ahead and do it via call, via by phone. And we're going to bring him in, and I'm going to introduce this guy. I'm going to have to do it.
Yes.
So I want to introduce this guy. So we're going to go ahead and bring him in. Let's go ahead and do that. So we're going to go ahead and make that phone call right now. Unfortunately, because of the technical difficulties, man, but we're going to bring him in, and we're going to talk Taekwondo, we're going to talk history, we're going to talk future, we're going to talk... Yo, bro, hey, listen up.
All right, for our audience out there.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, you got to turn your... No, yes. Hold on, you guys. Hold on, you guys. We're going to bring him right back in. Hold on. He has to turn down his volume.
He has to turn the volume down.
You got to turn the volume down on the show. All right, you got to turn the volume down on the show, man. You got to turn the volume down. All right, guys. So before we get started with our special guests, plural guests.
Yes.
First and foremost, let's go ahead and say this: we apologize for the big discrepancy that happened today with the technical difficulties. We've been having issues and problems all daggone day, but we're going to continue to keep it moving because this is one of our special guests, and when we are able to get him back on the live, we're going to make sure we do that.
Give them their just opportunity.
Yes, we're going to make sure we give him that just opportunity. But first and foremost, I want to go ahead and introduce this man. I'm going to say this man was one of the best bantam, feather, fly, fin, whatever the heck you want to call it. One of the best fighters in the game. One of the best fighters in the world. One of the best fighters in the United States. One of the best fighters that you all know this name when I say this name. And I'm going to introduce him as not only as a champion, and not only as a good friend. I'm going to introduce this man. Brian Gallagher is on the phone with us, man, and he has his father with him, Master Robert Gallagher, who is one of the top coaches in the game that I believe 100%, and I know you guys out there honestly believe that he should have been one of the, or is, matter of fact, he is one of the top coaches in the game. So let's go ahead and bring Brian Gallagher into the show, man. Brian Gallagher, how you feeling, man? What's going on with you, man? Let us know what the deal is, and tell us what's up with you, man.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you guys having me on. I really appreciate it. My life is good. I'm happily married. Have a great life with business going on. But yeah, no, I just appreciate you having me on the show because that was the biggest part of my life was being a competitor, and I'm thankful for my dad being here too because he was a huge part of my success, and I hope that we can at least be able to tell some people some great stories and be able to help the future move forward in the right direction. So I appreciate it.
Yeah, man. You know what? We're excited and so glad to have you once again, Brian, bro. We apologize for the technical difficulties that we've been going through. We got cut off of the show on live on Facebook twice already. So just bear with us on that. But when the just due comes, trust and believe you're going to be right on the live feed with us, man.
And if not, probably if we would either have a live panel where they're actually sitting along
with us. Yeah.
But again,
I'm not even worried about it. I'm just excited for the opportunity to be on with you guys, and I hope that we can probably do it again.
Absolutely. And what Brian, again, like I said, I've heard several stories about you sit here talking to this great man here, and of course your father, Master Robert Gallagher. It seems as though I almost know you myself personally because I've heard so many great things that has been shared with me by Master Smith-Bey in terms of some of the experiences and journeys that you all have shared together in the sport of Taekwondo. I understand that what we was always talking about too, that when you have top elite competitors, coaches, and parents and supporters like that you always tend to create a mutual bond that takes place outside of the ring. Even though in the ring there's also sportsmanship, respect as competitors and athletes, but then you still got to have that humble gratitude for each other because if it wasn't for an elite opponent that you faced, then you would never know how great you can be.
Absolutely.
So what better way than to make a friend than to have somebody that has the same degree of passion, the sincerity, the drive, the determination to want to do the best they can in a sport like that. So we actually have top tier athletes that actually can meet head to head, and then when it's all said and done, win or lose, they actually can part away victorious because they actually create a bond and a friendship with that. That goes past however many rounds in the ring.
Well, I like to say this because and then we're gonna let Brian go ahead and go ahead and express some of his experiences as a kid because I have a couple of questions for him. I know you got a couple of questions. Yes. I know a lot of the guys out there that are watching has a couple of questions for him. Especially the ones that are watching us on live, but eventually in time, they're going to definitely come in more, and they're going to ask their questions online as well. But I just wanted to add this in dealing with Brian. Brian and I, we were young when we started. Brian was very young when he started. Brian was actually competing a lot before me.
Right.
And believe it or not, I told Brian this maybe about a couple of days ago. I told him, I said, man, he was the main reason why I wanted to be on the gold team. I don't know if everybody remembers the gold team out there, but he was the main reason why I wanted to be on the gold team. And the gold team was a group of athletes that all worked collectively together because him and his sister were both on that front page cover of USTU's magazine with her father. You know what I'm saying? That's why I said Master Gallagher, his dad, was one of the top coaches, woven in the fabric. Yes, straight from the bloodline. That's where, from the nitty gritty, and that's just the honest truth right there.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So again, with Brian, we started young. And Brian was young himself. He was a top competitor, top athlete as a child, all the way to an adult. The best part about his career was his Olympic trial.
Yes.
His Olympic trial and with his older years, but in his younger years when he made junior national team with myself in 2001. And Brian has always been a great friend to me. he's always been his father's always been a great friend, and just his dad just reminded me of how when we were young, how I came down there and ate spaghetti at his house, you know, and it's so long ago. This was, man, and Brian and I were speaking about the fact that 20 years ago was when we first fought, you know, so 20 years ago is a long, long time, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, I just wanted to, you know, start it off and kick it off with Brian. And I wanted to ask Brian a main question, you know. Brian, so when you were 14 years old, how did you feel at that age, at a young age, competing at that level, and you know, and then also having your dad as a top coach?
No, that's a really good question. You know, I grew up being decently in all sports, and so you know, my dad told me at the age of basically between the age of 6 and 9, you need to make a choice. You can be good at everything, or you can be great at one thing. So you need to make a choice. And you know, I was an all-star baseball player. I was good at basketball, football, a lot of sports. But Taekwondo is something that I chose because I could control my own destiny in the ring. It was on me. It wasn't on anybody else.
Right.
I didn't have to depend on other football players on the field. I didn't have to depend on somebody not missing an assignment on the basketball court, or you know, other football. It was you know, something that I kind of just wanted to have my own destiny in the ring on my own. And with the help and the, you know, the guidance of a coach and a dad and support behind me. And so I chose Taekwondo, and I chose it at a young age. But what happened was that I wasn't necessarily known as a fighter early on. I was known, like, I performed a lot for demonstration each day, and just a kind of a well-rounded martial artist per se. And then I really wanted to get great at fighting. So that's kind of how my start was.
Which is crazy, you know, because I remember watching Brian doing creative forms, weapons, and stuff like that with him and his sister years and years, 20 plus years ago.
Right.
And what's so crazy is that to hear him say that he wanted to be a great fighter.
Yes.
You know, and I can relate to that.
Right.
I can relate to that. I know a lot of our viewers out there can relate to that as well, you know.
Right.
They can definitely relate to, you know, wanting to be a great fighter. But you got this man on the phone right now who has numerous medals, numerous championships, numerous national team jackets.
Yes.
You understand what I'm saying? I remember there was a time where, you know, when we were competing as kids, I just wanted a jacket. I wanted you know, I wanted a USA jacket. I wanted to represent the national team and have a jacket. You know what I'm saying? And I know he can remember that as well. You know, we wanted a jacket, you know.
But also with that, now, again, like I said, and that's always just like what we was talking about in episode 1. All you wanted to do with this was just kind of be like Leonardo and them.
Yeah.
But once you really started putting yourself really in the mix of this thing, you start seeing that it's a whole different experience that you get out of that.
Yeah.
So, and of course, Brian, just like what you were saying, you know, great at all sports.
Yeah.
But then when you're actually put in a position where, okay, you can be good, you know, in a whole host of sports that you want to be able to apply yourself to. But you really want to put a signature or a stamp on something.
Yeah.
So to take Taekwondo and say, okay, this is the sport I'm going to be great at. It's not discrediting baseball or any other thing that you can do. You're good, and you actually still know the rings of that too.
Well, I'm gonna say this: he chose the right sport,
right?
Because damn if he wasn't good at it.
Yes.
I'm gonna say that.
Or great at it.
Or he was great at it.
Right.
He was great at it. You know what I'm saying? But you know, I also want to veer off to a question. You know, to Brian. You know, basically, you know, not only from a young age making being a creative forms athlete, like he said you know. He wanted to be great at fighting. So I wanted to ask him a question. When we made 2001 junior national team, bro, what was that experience like with us especially during the 9/11 time when me and you said this before, we believed we had the best junior national team ever.
Right.
Yes, I firmly believe that. I firmly believe that. It was an unfortunate time, honestly. You know what I don't you know what I regret a little bit, to be completely honest, is that we were all happy that we didn't have to cut weight anymore.
Exactly. We didn't have to. Remember, Nico had to wear the sun.
Bro, we were looking at the cafeteria. So, the thing is that my dad fought for the reasons that we should have been fighting for, which is like we probably would have dominated in Chile.
Yeah, we were gonna dominate.
Right.
So, it was a fantastic team. You got Nico Delgado at Finn, you got U.S. Fly, you got Mia Phantom,
Yep.
You got Christopher Wade at Feather, you got, and I don't know how Christopher Wade made Feather, but he did.
He did, right.
And, you got Michael Eggleston at Light. I mean,
yes.
The whole team, both male and female, was just phenomenal.
Yeah.
It's just a shame that we can't see what we could have done at Junior Pan Ams in Chile. But, of course, we're all safe and sound now, which is okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
But, yeah, I think it's one of the best teams that maybe was out there, to be honest.
Yeah.
So.
And speaking of, we never got the opportunity to see where we could have gone with that. Speaking on that level, Brian, I would like to know, because I know my thoughts, but how did you feel about that 9/11 experience? Because I remember your dad saying he had a speech. Yes. I don't know if everybody else remembers it, but your dad had a speech when we were down in the dungeon at the Olympic Training Center during that time, and your dad said, we're American. We need to.
My dad was a huge component of being on the side of, USU, USDA, like whatever you want to call it at the time, had the funds to send us to an event, and they thought that they were going to pocket that, and he thought that wasn't fair, especially during the time that it was probably the safest to travel.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right after it happened.
Yeah.
And he didn't want people to be scared or threatened by the fact that this happened. He thought that these kids earned the opportunity to go, fight at Pan American games in Chile, and he was a huge factor in that. So, in my younger days, yeah, I'm looking at the cafeteria, but in my older days, I'm also, understanding why he was fighting for us to go.
Right. Because and again, Brian, it does go back to what you were saying as far as, the commitment that you put into something. When you really have to go through those, managing the weight, and the routine training day in and day out and day in and day out, that you would want to see if there's any way that you can actually see the benefit of the hard work and the investment that goes into that. Yeah. So, I can kind of understand especially you all as athletes that actually were directly impacted with that. Yeah. But then, of course, Master Robert Gallagher, too, who was actually a coach and a trainer that helped prepare his son and helped prepare other people on the team to expect to go out there and be able to perform at the absolute best that you can. Yeah. So, I can kind of relate in the sense, but then above all that, too, whether a lot of people are familiar with it, is that Master Robert Gallagher is the father of Brian Gallagher.
Absolutely. He's the father of Brian
Gallagher. And just not to interrupt, but to be honest with you, there was a lot going on in our personal lives at that time. My mom had left, for like a third time and whatnot, and my dad had sent a message down, and stuff was going on, and so 9/11 happened, and he came down, and he really did give a great speech to try to save our team from, not missing this opportunity, because he saw the value in that team.
Absolutely.
That was created.
Right.
And, I'll let him speak for that, because, a lot of important people were there. Tim Thackeray was there at the OCT,
let's hear from your dad, because I would like to ask Master Robert Gallagher. I would like to ask him with the utmost honor and respect. How did he feel, and what was he trying to introduce or get the team to understand, and not only the team but the other coaches as well during that particular time? I would like to ask him that question, and I would like to hear how he really felt about that particular time.
Yes. Well, first off, I'm very humbled and honored to be a part of your show and what you're trying to do with Strap Up, because it's kind of hoping to provide hope, but also reveal, what went on in the past, so it's happening again, and that the athletes have put so much from the line to, to better themselves and to provide hope for the athletes to make those same mistakes or to have the courage when they run into those roadblocks to, have the strength and the courage to think for themselves and for their coaches to know the rights of their athletes. I was fortunate to invest myself into the political aspect, something I didn't want to do, but something I felt I had to do because we were a traditional school, and we, this may be a fact that you're not aware of, but I never let Brian or Shannon compete until they became black belts.
Yeah, right.
They never competed.
Right.
They never competed as yellow, green, blue, and the reason why was because competition can ruin you if you enter into it too soon without understanding what your training should mean to you.
Absolutely.
And I wanted their training to be more character development, and then if something took off, which we have a musical background, we have a game. That's what we started doing the creative forums and the Ponce, and we kind of led the world in that area. And then, my kids desired to fight, so I said, okay, well, we'll seek out the best possible ways to advance you in that area. And then, when we opened up school in Wyoming, I got the position of the Wyoming State President. I got privy to all the things that were going on, and some things that were happening, management of funds and everything. I knew right away that grant, that $40,000 grant that the kids received, goes to fight at the Junior World Championships. I knew what was going to happen before they even said it, and that's why I said I broke every law in the world to get down to the Olympic Training Center. I came in right at the tail end of Seng Lee and Warwick, talking, and again, I'm not trying to throw anybody in the bus, but that they were going to opt against going, and then I put it up. I said, okay, if you go, I want to find out what you're going to do with that $40,000 grant. And then we heard about some sort of a training session, in some state or whatever like that. Nothing ever happened. And I still, to this day, that $40,000 grant just sat in somebody's account, all right, and then somebody ended up paying for their golf membership with it.
Wow.
Unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. Unbelievable.
So these were the things that were going on, and after I gave that talk, both Tim Thackeray and Tony Graff came up to me and they go, "Sir, you said all the things I wish I had the courage to say." They both said that.
Wow.
But Master Robert Gallagher, that goes back to exactly what Master Smith-Bey was saying in reference to episode 1.
Yeah.
Where we was given like a coach that would put his all into the
was
betterment of the students and the
I told you.
Absolutely.
I told you he was the one.
Yes.
I told you. I told you. Master Gallagher was the one. He was the one that I could see specifically. I was a kid, but I was very observant.
Right.
I didn't talk much.
Yeah.
I was no different than Brian. He didn't talk much. He didn't, he stayed with his own. He stayed with his team, his parents, his family, and he trained hard, he worked hard, and he did what he said. He flew straight.
Yes.
And he did everything he was supposed to do, but he was observant as well.
Right.
But at the same time, what I could see out of a coach who would give everything he had for his students, for his athletes. Master Robert Gallagher was one of the ones, and like I said in episode 1, those that haven't heard that, they need to go back to episode 1 and hear that. They need to go hear that and subscribe to our YouTube channel and really hear that, because as you can see right now, he's letting everybody know right now that he made investments.
Yes.
He made investments for our team.
Yes.
He made investments for his son.
Yes.
He made investments for his team, for his school.
Right.
He made investments. And like he said, somebody's out there playing golf with him.
Yeah.
And
again, that goes back to the unfortunate and the unfairness of anybody that are actually getting involved that are not familiar with some of the groundworks that need to be considered when you actually want to jump into a sport such as Taekwondo.
Yeah.
What we were saying, know the status of the people that you're around.
Absolutely.
Know their credentials, know their records.
Yeah.
And so that you can actually be able to feel comfortable knowing that whoever you're going to be a part of, whoever's program, whoever's school, whoever's training, whoever's coaching staff,
Yeah.
that they actually have your best interest and the best interest of the students in mind.
Yes.
And so, like I said, Robert Gallagher just basically signed off
Yeah.
on everything that you were saying in all these previous episodes.
Yes.
Of having a truly dedicated and respectful and responsible and sincere coach.
Yeah.
That actually has the absolute best interest of not just one specific avenue. Of course, the greatest thing was the son, but the team is in its entirety.
Yeah.
Have their best interest in mind.
Yeah.
So,
Well, I Master Gallagher, I have a major question for you, sir. Are you still there?
Sure. Yes, sir.
Well, my major question for you is this. I would like to know, and I know a lot of our audience would like to know as well. But for me specifically, I honestly feel like that you should have been a national team coach. I feel like that.
yes,
And still to this very day.
right.
I feel like that you have been completely looked over. I feel like that you've been completely, people have
Underexposed,
underexposed, underrated, and you were one of the best. And like I said, and I'll say it again, he was one of the best coaches that invested in
Yes.
his team.
Yes,
We all know, Master Patrice, my coach,
Right.
has done the same thing.
Right.
But at the same time,
but there's only a handful of them.
there's only a handful of them. And Master Gallagher is one of them. So at the same time, my question to you is again, do you feel like, Master Gallagher, that you should have been a national team coach?
To be honest with you, I felt like watching, some of the things that were going on, I would have loved to have had that opportunity.
Yes.
And at one time, I was an assistant national team coach when Patrice was the head coach.
Right.
But looking, from the political standpoint and being, the president of the Wyoming and then eventually the Colorado State Association and then I was on
Yes.
the first USAT Board of Directors.
Yeah.
After USTU got certified and the first year of USAT, and I saw right away that we almost jumped from the frying pan into the fire, and that I was highly opposed, and that's one of the very first meetings. I opposed Gene and Juan being the head coaches because they had schools. And I realized that in order for it to be fair for the athletes throughout the country, that we would have to have a national team coach that didn't have any vested interest in athletes, because eventually it would be a conflict of interest, and any organization that's going to succeed cannot have a conflict of interest.
Right.
And so, moving faster through it, it had nothing to do personally with had nothing to do with Gene or Juan. I love those guys.
Oh yeah, they're great coaches.
Yeah.
They're great coaches. Gene, I say it all the time. Gene Lopez is one of the best coaches in the world. Juan Moreno is one of the best coaches in the world. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. You got to give respect and respect is due.
Oh,
But
absolutely. No,
yeah.
To both of them. Respect to both of them. The fact of the matter is that when you go to Team Charles and you are fighting against those coaches every single time, it's a conflict of interest, because they're obviously going to want the best for their athletes as well, and so it just doesn't. It just needs to be a little bit more it's a natural selection as far as somebody that doesn't have a vested interest in a particular school or a particular person,
Right.
to kind of go out there and have a great team coach, because you fought against everybody from every school.
Yeah.
And so have I.
yeah,
And so, that's a difficult situation. So it's not against them as human beings. It's just a matter of fact thing of
So
what's wrong.
not to cut you guys off, but we had an episode, I believe it was episode 2.
Yes.
Episode 2 was the fact of, is there politics?
Is there politics, and that was going to be what I was going to get.
Yeah. I really want to get into that.
Yeah.
Is there politics in the sport of Taekwondo? Now, I'm not saying, again, it's not to knock anybody down. It's not to, but I want to know, or I'm asking the question of it, or for the people that, we have students out there listening, we have parents out there listening, we have people that are following, that are watching, and eventually, this stuff is going to get shared by a lot of people. It's going to get shared. So, the thing is, my question is, again, do you all believe that there's politics in Taekwondo?
And also to add to that, which seems to have more of the pull in terms of influential, positioning with that. Because you would think that if it comes down to athletes that have been given the opportunity to go through that gauntlet of going to multiple tournaments, going to multiple national championships, and getting those opportunities to qualify to be on a part of a team, in team trials and stuff like that, that you would think that it would boil down to the best athlete or the best coaching staff that would actually show just cause why they should be able to have the right of way when it goes into that. But again, it goes back to what you're saying. When you actually have a selected of few of people that are in a more influential position, it seems like it brings forth, like Brian and them said, a conflict in that. Because now it seems like it throws out the door everything that an athlete or another coach or trainer would have really put into this as far as the investment thing that we were talking about.
Right.
It seems like once you put the investment in there, then you should see the payout that comes from rightfully and just due.
Yeah. So is there politics? We apologize, but we're very passionate about this. And is there politics in the sport of Taekwondo? I gotta know. You're breaking up. You're breaking up, Brian. You're breaking up.
Hear me now or no?
Try that again.
Try that again.
Can you hear me a little bit?
Yeah,
perfect.
Okay, so I'm going to answer first, just as the fighter, as the person that's in the ring.
Yes. And
then I'll let my dad, kind of go on his side. But yes, I mean, to answer your question, yes, I do believe that there are politics involved, but I don't think that it's on the level of being able to be completely non-transparent, where I heard Lopez when everybody wanted Mark Lopez to win. I think people where that happens. So you can't really feel it so much, but yes, politics are hugely involved. I'm not going to say that it's referees involved or this and that. But yeah, it's totally involved, and it's scary. It's nerve-wracking. I work my butt off to train and to be an underdog and to go in there and fight against the best 68 kilogram division that is probably ever assembled for Olympic trials, and you never know what's going to happen because you don't know what the calls are going to be. And but I don't think that it's one person per se or a second person per se. I think it's just an overall thing that these people have to be on team to represent the country, to be able to get us medals and to be able to get us money, is what I'm saying. And when they get beat, there's a big problem. Is what I'm saying.
I believe that too. I honestly believe that too. Me and you had a conversation a couple of days ago talking about, how it was for when you beat Mark Lopez at the Olympic qualifier in 2016?
Yeah. Well, 2010. Well, for the 2012 Olympics, yeah. It was,
and with beating Mark Lopez, where everybody, had in their mind frame how they believed that Mark Lopez was going to be a clear, clean slate for him. Not to take anything away from the Lopez family or Mark Lopez, but because he's a great athlete, great fighter. But like you said that, that everyone thought that, he was going to win, and you were pretty much like the underdog. You were pretty much the guy that nobody thought that was going to be there. And I've been in that same position, bro.
Yes.
Me and you both have been there.
Yes.
Like you said the other day, we spoke how in the position when I was competing in 2004, the Olympic qualifier with Peter Lopez. Everybody thought everybody thought.
Best fight I've ever seen you fight, man. Best fight I've ever seen you fight. Best fight I've ever seen you fight.
So with like you said with Peter Lopez, how you said that, you know, Peter Lopez, they thought that, you know, Gene and everybody thought that Peter had this clean slate.
Yeah.
No different with Mark Lopez with you. And when, like you said, when you beat him, there's a problem. And
that's all I'm saying. I don't think it's. I'm not pinpointing individual. I'm just saying, like, yes, if that happens, there is a problem.
yeah, but see, going off on that, Brian, I don't know about the particulars so much with you. We're gonna get into you real quick, but I can attest to in 2004 with Peter Lopez, when I beat Peter Lopez in Olympic qualifier. I don't know if you all remember this. I don't know if your dad remembers this, but they did another qualifier. And there wasn't supposed to be another qualifier after that.
Oh, I remember. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, and with that being said, I think I kind of want to, I'm not so much kind of, I want to agree even more so what you're saying, that there is politics in Taekwondo.
Yes.
And if you do beat the individual that is expected to win, there's a problem.
Being another qualifier.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Then the politics take
And
over.
then the politics start taking over.
Right.
There's another qualifier now. Now there's another this. Now there's another that. You know? And then, like, for example, with your situation, you beat Mark Lopez, and then, you know, everyone had an issue with it. There was a big problem with that because that wasn't supposed to happen. The family was supposed to go back again. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah,
And
you know, the craziest part about all of it is that I never, because I was on teams 5 straight years with all of the Lopez family, every single person. And we had great trips, we had great times.
great people.
Yes.
I don't care what nobody
Yes.
says. They're great
Yes.
people.
Yeah, it wasn't a personal issue. It was the fact that there was a narrative. And,
Yes.
you know,
Yes.
I was never a part of the narrative. And
Right.
I really liked it at the 2000, you know, for 2012 Olympic Trial. I love the fact that TJ and I made it to the finals together. And
Oh, hold off on that, bro, because we're gonna get there. Trust me, we're gonna get there.
Are you guys interested in the political question and my viewpoint?
Absolutely, yes.
Yes.
Okay, so let me tell you about my very first board of directors meeting. Okay?
You said your very first board of directors meeting. Okay, yeah. Oh man, yes.
Very first one when we became USAT. Okay?
Wow.
Give a date, Dad. Come on.
I think it was 2004.
Oh wow, 2004 USAT, USA Taekwondo's new entity,
Yes.
new entity's board of directors meeting. Am I right, Master Robert Gallagher?
Yep.
Okay.
Yes, it was in downtown Denver. Well, not downtown Denver. It was west of Denver in some big hotel in a meeting room, and everybody met, and we were getting organized. And, you know, we brought up the thing of national team coaches, and to be honest with you, when I became anything, Wyoming State President or anything, when I raced down in 2001, you know, I was already being blackballed. You know, I was being this guy that, you know, people were paying attention to, but then they were taking it out of my kids in certain regards. And so we just kept pushing forward. We just kept saying, you know, we can beat this, you know. Integrity beats everything. You know, the harder you work,
I can attest to
harder
that.
to surrender. You know, so we just kept working hard.
Yes.
And so the very first board of directors meeting, we were talking about national team coaches, and I was totally against it. And not because of who they were, simply because I had already, in that moment, envisioned my son having to fight one of their athletes. And knowing that, you know, there'd be a conflict of interest, or there'd be something going on, you know, because they're on that national committee, and they decide, you know, what the rules are in competition and all of that, and then they send it to, you know, USOC, and it gets approved, right? So Chip Zachary, Eric Warren were there. They were reps. They were on the board, and I told them my thoughts, and I said, what they do now, what they have right now, those two guys from Britain, okay? So they said, they asked me this, who's got better credentials than you guys? You know, and I said, well, I don't know if anybody has better credentials, But I do know they have schools. And then those schools, their athletes pay them.
Right.
So they're going to look out for them. So if they're in the running, they're going to push for them. And if they're in that position as national team coaches, they're going to push harder than I will coach.
Yes.
Okay?
Yeah.
That's
They wanna
what
lean a little bit
creates
more.
the political arena.
Right.
Okay? So they asked me, so what would you do? And I said, well, let's go out of the country. Somebody that doesn't have a vested interest, they go, oh, that's ridiculous. I said, hey, that guy Vargas from Spain is available. He's bidding himself out to the highest bidder. And if he does, if we don't get it, if we don't, he ended up in Mexico. He used to be the Spanish coach. And Vargas, the next couple of years, I don't know if you remember, but they took their C and D teams to the U.S. Open, and they won the team award. That dude, Vargas has done so much for that national team program in Mexico. It's crazy. Okay, but he doesn't have a vested interest. He just takes the best athletes. He forms an ABCD junior and senior national team, and they travel. And Mexico went from being mediocre to one of the best teams in the country. Okay? And so, years later, they go through all of this thing, and then they discover, because I had two complaints, and one of them was based on conflict of interest, because Mark was in Brian's division, they won't let him compete. I filed a complaint, and I won, unanimously. Okay? And it was based on a conflict of interest. So I actually predicted what was going to happen, okay? And it took place.
Wow.
Okay, so when you ask me, is there politics involved? Yes, there is. Okay, and they ask, in the complaint, obviously, to win a complaint, as the executive director in USA Taekwondo, you have to go out on a limb, and you have to have exhibits, and I had two 8-foot cables with all my exhibits. Okay, and basically it was based upon they changed the process that was approved by the United States Olympic Committee, and I proved it. And so they ruled in our favor. And so my point is that we never asked for anything above and beyond what anybody else should get.
Right.
Right.
And all we've done is, all my son ever did was just kill himself. It was just to work hard. But he didn't have me as a national team coach. So when you ask me, do you think that you deserve to be a national team coach? I think for what I've done as a coach, it's very humbling to even be asked that question. Yes, I could have stepped up and been a national team coach.
I believe you could have too.
Absolutely.
I believe you could have too. I believe you would have done. I believe you would.
I want to have been simply because I would have been that same conflict of interest for my son. Everybody would have thought that, he's a national team coach. Brian Gallagher's gonna, he's gonna make team every time.
Right.
All right. So I didn't want to be a hypocrite either.
Yeah, but but Master Robert Gallagher, at the same time too, what I want you to also share with a lot of the listeners, because we do have parents that actually are, that would chime in and look at some of these episodes as well, and we always tend to accredit that giving the parents, some type of insight of the, how serious this sport is in terms of what you have to really invest, and then also what you have to prepare for. Now, you having the experience in the background being a coach, but then also as a father. Now, what would you say in terms of being able to see now a lot of the obstacles that you are, as a parent, would have to be able to experience, right alongside with your son Brian going through this too, even though he's focusing on the athletic concept and the competition side of it, but you looking at it from your position as a parent, as a father. What would you say in terms of, for anybody else that is a parent out here that actually has students that or taking a strong interest in really getting involved in this to see what it takes to get to that next level? Is there any sense of advice or information or insight that you looking at it from that aspect as being a parent to kind of prepare students or prepare the children that may be wanting to go down this journey as well? What to expect in terms of that, especially now that that
Well, they were at the top.
Yes, but again,
They were at the top.
Yes.
What better advice?
Yes.
What
So
better advice?
So
Yeah.
all the more reason why to come not only just from a coach,
Yeah.
but from a father.
Yeah, from a
parent.
coach's perspective first, and then a father.
Yes.
Absolutely.
So what would you be able to share with us too, also in terms of information that may be of great use, especially for what we were saying. The purpose of this platform is we want to set things up better for the future generations to come.
Absolutely.
Well, the first thing I'll say is that in life, just like in Taekwondo or any sport, there are no advanced techniques. There are only advanced basics. And what you find out from people is that they're not willing to put the time in to practice the basic fundamentals. They just, they want to get to the high level. They want
Instant macaroni and cheese. What are we saying?
Master Robert Gallagher, we say that all the time, is that you always want those that look at some of, like Brian Gallagher, athletes like that. They want to see the accomplishment and the achievement, and they all think that they can just easily just walk in onto a mat, and yet they'll have all those accolades to come along with it. But what they don't see is the stuff that goes on behind closed doors or when the cameras are off.
They don't see when Brian was crying out there and running. They don't see when I was running 5 miles a day and I was crying and I was throwing up and I was hurting and I was soaking in the bathtub with Epsom salt. They don't see the icing. They don't see the broken arm that Brian had. They don't see that stuff.
Right, or the broken foot.
Or the broken foot I had. They don't see that kind of stuff.
Right.
But like Master Gallagher was saying, you know, I like that. I like what he said. He said that there is no such thing as advanced. Advanced techniques.
Yes.
It's just advanced basics.
Yes, absolutely.
It's just advanced basics. So it's
not
going
to cut you off. Sorry,
yeah.
I just wanted to.
I'm completely gone off of it.
I just wanted to.
I'm gone off of it because I'm paying attention to. Number one, this is what everybody has to understand. Our listeners, or those viewers, or whatever you want to call them, but they have to understand that I highly respect this man.
Yes,
I highly respect this man because I have my own father, you know. But if I was to listen to anybody other than my father and my coach, Master Patrice Remarque, it would be him.
Robert Gallagher. Yes,
it would be him because he comes with a philosophy that you work hard, you do well.
Yes.
You work your tail off, you're gonna earn it.
Yes.
And that's the same way he raised his son off of. And not only was that, again, that's not only his son, but that's also his athlete as well.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And his son, man, like I said, is one of the best competitors in the game.
Right.
In the game. And I've overheard, you know, him say this earlier today, actually. He said, you know, that, well, I'm going to say not so much Master Gallagher, but what Brian said a couple of days ago. He said, you know, his dad let him be him.
Yes, absolutely.
His dad let him be him.
Right.
You know, he let him be him in the ring. You know, he let him be him. He didn't, you know, most coaches are always, you know, I had a coach tell me, Master Gallagher, you may not know this or you probably won't even believe this, but I'm at the 2003 World Championships and I'm literally in the quarterfinal. All right? In Germany, yeah. I'm in the quarterfinal in Germany. And guess who I'm fighting? I'm fighting Roberto Cruz from the Philippines. So I'm fighting Roberto Cruz from the Philippines. I'm 19, 20 years old.
Right.
And I'm in the chair with a coach. I'm not going to say any names. But this coach specifically asked me, what's your favorite kick?
Do that.
Do that.
And that's the credential.
And
that's what your credentials get.
But look, exactly, and that's what we have to. That's what we have to. That's what we have to accept.
Yes, we have to get rid of that.
We have to get rid of that.
Yes.
That has to be getting rid of.
Yes.
You know, and again, not saying any names, but coaches like this man right here, Master Robert Gallagher, is a coach that I would have in my chair any day if it wasn't for my coach.
Right. Yes.
I would prefer him.
No hesitation.
And he may not have known that, but that is the truth because he has the same philosophy. My dad taught me pretty much the same way he taught me. Master Patrice, it was the same way. Master Patrice, I believe Master Patrice was. I'm not going to nothing against you, Master Robert Gallagher, but Master Patrice was really, really hard. He was really hard.
Right.
He trained hard. He worked hard. But I believe, you know, I also believe that Master Gallagher, not only does he work hard,
he puts the passion behind it.
But he trains smart.
Yes.
You know, he trains smart. But let's move on from that. I have a question for Brian, dealing with. I'm sorry.
Oh boy! I said, oh boy.
Yeah, because you know what I'm getting ready to get into, bro. You know what I'm getting ready to get into. You know what I want to know. and our viewers are going to want to know this as well, man. 2016 Olympic qualifiers, you beat Mark Lopez, and now you're facing my teammate, Terrence Jennings. Now, go into that, number one. Let the people know the history between you and my teammate for all these years.
All right. So, I can go into, the archives, right? But basically, people are asking me who my rivals were in fighting. They would definitely be Terrence Jennings and Jesus, obviously. I figured, I don't know how it ended up, but I always fought Jesus at every event that possibly could be there. But, Terrence and I had a long history of kind of basically determining where we would go for team and, world events. So, I have a high level of respect for both of them, both amazing fighters. But, yeah, so that Olympic trial was amazing because, both Terrence and myself beat Mark on the same day. And the crowd was pretty huge on that for some reason. And it ended up being Terrence and I in the finals. We have fought 17 times. I'm another guy, but we have fought 17 times, and he owns the record 9-8. 9-8. That's how even it is. To be honest.
Wow, you said, wait a minute, whoa. Let's hold on real quick. Hold on real quick, bro. Hold on real quick. Now,
Okay.
hold on, bro. I gotta ask this question, bro. This is strap up, bro. We on strap up right now. I got to know. Hold on real quick, bro. Now, TJ was my teammate, bro. And you're telling me that you fought TJ, Terrence Jennings, 17 times?
Yes, and I also have a really cool story for you if you want to hear it. I purposely took a flight, which I never would used to do, to go to a local event in Tampa just to fight him because I knew he was going to be a child with me.
Yeah, you remember the Techno series with Alvarez from?
Yeah. I remember the Techno tournament. Absolutely.
Well, he was fighting in the Techno circuit, but we weren't.
We weren't. So I purposely took a flight to Tampa.
Just to fight him, just to see his fighting style. That's what.
He beat me both times that day, but we got into a little bit of an argument, and we got into a little bit of a scuffle with Patrice.
No, but Patrice and I were respectful of each other and knew each other. But I got to tell you, it was the first time I met Terrence, and to be honest with you, I saw him at the end of the day, and I went up to him and I go, "Hey man, for whatever it's worth, there's no bad blood here." I said, "We came here, and this is a compliment to you. We came here to seek you out."
Absolutely. Yeah, we do. So basically, I felt like if I was going to make a national team of bantamweight, I was going to have to go through Terrence at the time.
He was our guy. That we went looking for him just to see how he fought.
So we flew all the way to Tampa. We fought him. He beat me both times, but the second fight, it was super close. And I kind of was a little bit of an Irish prick, if you want to say. And basically told him, I'm unbeatable, so I'll see you at trial.
Just not to interrupt you, Brian, real quick. Now, just hold that thought real quick. Are we still on live, guys? Are you still able to see us?
No. Well, let me hit play. Let's see.
Yeah,
now we can.
Yeah, we're good now.
Oh, we're still live?
Yeah, we're good.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, great. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Keep going.
So we basically flew out there because we knew in the long run we were going to have to face Terrence in the if I wanted to make national team at bantamweight, I was going to have to beat Terrence Jennings. Basically, is what we saw. So we weren't part of the Tecmo League or any of that stuff. But I flew out there to fight him. He beat me both times that day.
Yeah.
But on the second fight, I kind of had this Irish prick move, and I just said, "Listen, bro, I'm unbreakable. I'll see you at trials." And he did not like it at all. And so he didn't shake my dad's hand.
Well, that was that's kind of like what happened with me and Daniel Elkowitz, man. You know, Daniel Elkowitz lost to Anthony Mujica at the national.
Mujica.
Yeah.
That's how old school you are.
Yeah.
Mujica, yeah.
Absolutely. He lost to Anthony Mujica in the in the semifinals before team trials, and I was standing there watching the fight. And I kind of didn't really say too much. I just was like, okay. I looked at it. I said, it is what it is. And your boy Daniel just looks at me and says, "You wanted me to lose. What's up?" So I know what's going on. I get exactly what you mean.
Oh, well, I like.
It wasn't a thing of because personally, I really have on the outside, I really have a great relationship with everybody. If it wasn't that, it was the fact that I was just. In the moment, I was like, "Hey,
a natural athlete."
Well, that's a natural athlete. That's just.
I just was trying to say, like, I know you're the one to beat, but you're not going to just take this. I promise you that.
Right. It ain't going to be easy.
Right.
Right.
So I went to Terrence at the very end of the day, I go, "Hey, can I just say something for whatever it's worth? This is a compliment to you. We're not interested in techno points. We're not playing for points in the circuit. We came here to fight you out of knowing how you fight, because we know that we have to go through you, if there's a chance." So that was a respectful thing, because why would we fly a Tampa to fight in the techno circuit when that was like just a waste of money, but we knew Terrence was going to be there trying to wrap up that, because Alvarez started that circuit, and the guy for the international chip, and whoever won it. And so, Terrence was going to get, we didn't have enough points against Terrence, because we only fought in one, just to get fighting experience. But, so basically, I have this huge respect for Terrence. I think he's one of my favorite competitors, because we have this long history of epic matches that go down to the wire.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you this to the viewers, and hopefully people can hear this, and hopefully Terrence can hear this, but we kind of stole each other's thunder in multiple areas. I beat him. I stole world championships from him, where I was able to represent the bantamweight. And then
I wouldn't use that choice of word. I think you earned that.
Yeah.
Well, no, I get it. But then he beat me at Olympic trials to go to the Olympic. You know what I mean? And he got well deserved too. But we have this epic rivalry, and it's awesome. But all respect to all the fighters that I fought, including you, Arnell, including Jesus and Terrence, and nothing but respect, and Jesus. But the toughest competitor, if everybody wants to know, is Bernard Posey.
Yeah. And you. I remember you were telling me that a couple of days ago, and it shocked me that you said that, man.
Wow.
Because I'm not gonna lie, man. I'm gonna be honest. This is Strap Up. This is our show. But I'm a little disappointed, man. I'm a little disappointed, man. I wanted to be in that mix.
Yeah.
I'm just being transparent. I'm being honest.
Hey, bro.
What you wanted on Strap Up, right?
Yes.
Right.
Hey, Brian, this is Get Back where, in episode 3, he tried to act as though he didn't remember fighting you or he never fought you. So.
That's what I'm saying. He didn't remember you. Come on. Let's go.
But what I want to really say that I think a lot of the audience that would really appreciate is exactly what Master Bob Gallagher said.
Yeah.
And the same thing kind of goes insane to what you were saying, just like the story you were saying, how you and your mom and father used to actually travel from tournament to tournament and compete. Even the sacrifice where you actually had to lay on a mattress in the back of the truck.
Yes,
so
sir.
that you
Yeah.
get from those tournaments and stuff
Yes,
like that.
yeah.
And what Master Robert Gallagher is saying, that, you know, they actually get on a plane and fly to a tournament.
Yeah.
You know, so I mean, it just goes to show that, you know, when you really want to be in that caliber of elite fighters.
Well, I think that, you know, I think that a major problem of this too is the fact that people, I personally feel this way. I don't know how Brian feels about it or Master Gallagher feels about this, but I personally feel like that people don't take Olympic style Taekwondo serious. I just think that
it's
don't.
almost like they're just looking at it off of what they see on the TV. That's
Yeah,
that easy.
Well, you know, because it's not aired out there on national television constantly like baseball, football, and basketball. They don't really take it seriously as if it's an actual real sport, as if this is an Olympic sport, and that there are athletes such as myself and such as Brian Gallagher that train very, very hard and put in that work in and made it to the level that they've made it at, and they achieved their goal and continuing to achieve their goals constantly because of the sport. But I feel as if that because people don't pay too much attention to the Olympic style Taekwondo, that people like Brian Gallagher, who is a diamond in the rough.
Yes.
You know, he's a diamond in the rough, and now it's that time. This is what Strap Up is all about. Strap Up is going to take that diamond, and it may be a little rough right now, but it's going to get polished.
Polish it off, and we're going to put it on for the world.
And we're going to put it on for the world to see. And if it takes Strap Up 20 years to do it, it's going to happen.
Or 1,000 episodes.
Or 1,000 episodes, it doesn't matter.
Because it's deserving.
It's deserving for him. It's deserving for all of us. There's many more of us out there that I believe that you were talking about, Brian, that, you know, there's a whole bunch of athletes that have stories that need to be told.
Right.
And they're also, again, I don't want to sound like, you know, that you didn't do well or you didn't do much, but when I say diamond in the rough, I mean that, you know, you were at the top of the level, man. You were at the top of competition, at the very highest level.
And not only that, but another athlete that defied the odds.
Yes, he yeah. Go ahead.
So I never really answered your question about a parent's perspective.
Yes.
Yeah, go ahead.
But
Yes.
let me tell you, I told you that I never let my kids compete until they were black belts. And the very first competition up at Casa Mariello up in Ormond Beach, my son's fighting. My master instructor starts running across because my daughter had just won her match, and I was up on the medal stand with her, and all of a sudden, I see my master instructor running across, and he's going to the ring, and my son's on the ground. Brian's on the ground. And he's having a severe asthma attack. We didn't even know he had asthma. Okay?
Wow, man.
But he was out there fighting his heart out, and he won the match, but he won an asthma attack. But the point is that stuff like that scares kids, you know. And we had a talk, and I told him, I go, hey, you know, actually he lost that match. He was paired up with a kid, Fernando. He lost that match, and I knew right away, you know, just like when I saw you, I said, hey, this kid's good. Fernando's like a carbon copy. I thought my son was dope, and this kid was like throwing spin hook kicks and not-a-bonds like no other. And so I had a talk, you know, a couple of weeks later with Brian, and I go, hey man, I said, no doubt you're going to meet you're going to meet him at the Florida State Championships, and that's a big state championships, Florida.
Oh yeah.
That's where we live, and that's where we grew up. And so I had a talk with him. I said, hey, you know, you can just stay in the sport. You can, you know, get as good as you want, or we can really go for it. We can really prepare for this kid. And so I had a talk with the doctor, and he had exercise-induced asthma, and I said, can you outgrow it? They go, yeah, but it has to be gradual, you know.
Yes.
And I go, what do you mean? So, you know, like jump rope, bicycle,
But see,
short distances.
You see,
So we
these
lived
are
out in Loxahatchee, Florida, and, you know, we had a house on 5 acres, and we, I started taking lifts, you know, run quarter mile, third of a mile, and then half mile, and then a mile, and then eventually we got up to 2 miles. And he was staying up with me, and it would be a challenge. You know, we'd get to a certain spot, and, you know, I'm stopping, I let him spin, and I said, I'll still catch you, and he would go and go and go. And then before you know it, I couldn't catch him anymore.
Right.
And I'm really
These
proud of
are
her.
these are the
And I'm
stories. I'm sorry. Go
I'm
ahead.
telling you, I predicted it because she met Fernando at the state championships and beat him. And everybody from that point on, Ruben Gayon, he was a coach at the time. He was an athlete coach. Guillermo Mascara.
Guillermo, I know Guillermo. That's Juan's boy.
Yeah. And the other one was Collette. Robert Collette.
Yeah.
They were all top athletes in Florida. Mr. Vaughn. Yeah, they were, you know. So the point simply is that I found out about within my son's spirit. But I also found out that I had to be relentless. I had to be pushing too. I had to be prodding too. And I had to push him to his bare limits without scaring him so he could get rid of the fear that I had to support, you know, my son.
But that leads to exactly what I was talking about. How can you?
Yeah, so parents can't just pay for lessons. They've got to be mental, moral, and physical support. They got to get out there.
Yes.
They got to, you know, I challenge every parent to do a warm up in my school that I ask their kids to do. The warm up will make them feel like, hey, I'm not doing enough in my life. Just the warm up. And then they still have 45 minutes of the class. Okay? So parents that wonder about what they want for their children, wonder how they can support them, they need to kind of like engage in what they're doing. Especially in
That's what we're talking about.
Taekwondo, like mine said
That's
earlier,
exactly what we're talking about. How
it's a sport that you
can
can
talk
dictate for yourself. But if you don't have the tools to do that, you're going to make up a lot of things about what you want to excel on.
And Master Robert Gallagher, that's exactly the concept of what we've been always putting in our previous episodes as far as for parents to really take into consideration, do their homework to know exactly what is to be expected and also what goes into it. We actually have that also with some of the parents that come into our program, some that we either are newly interested in taking the concept of Taekwondo, especially on the elite Olympics level, to know what to expect from it and know that it's not going to be an easy road. But then again, the payoff at the end of it, when you really put in the time and invest in and put in the effort and be committed to it, that the payoff is you can't even measure how much the value of it.
Yeah.
I want to say this to you as well, because I was personally a witness of that too. Because of course, when me and my son, we had competed in 2016.
Yeah.
And the same thing that went involved with what we did. You know, we stayed after classes and stuff. And we trained in that gym back and forth. There have been times where either he done pulled me off the mat because I didn't have anything left on there, and the same vice versa.
Absolutely.
So, Master Robert Gallagher, I know what I went through when I went through that experience when my son wound up winning in sudden death.
Yes.
The embrace of, it's more than just that the fact he won, but it was that you saw what it took to get to that level.
Yeah.
So with your personal experience as being a father, also
but you can relate as father and son.
Exactly, which is why I'm saying that.
Yeah.
Master Robert Gallagher, for you to share with our listening audience and also with some of the parents that we can share the same information with, as far as from a parent's perspective, when you've seen your son Brian go through a lot of the hardship that he went through and then come out on the top, winning it, earning that right to say he's the absolute best in any tournament, any competition and stuff like that. What was that feeling like when you all finally came off that mat and it was either an embrace, a hug, a handshake, or something like that? What was that feeling and what was that experience like for you?
Well, to be honest with you, they're the most memorable moments of my life. And they've led to this moment right now where, you know, I can, even in the situation with the coronavirus and everything, that, you know, I don't go a day without talking to my son. We talk I talk to him on the phone on my way home from work. I stop here and maybe have a beer with him. I see him all the time, and all the moments then led up to now. But and let me tell you, it wasn't without struggle. You know, my son took me man up and encompass some truths too. You know, because sometimes I can get a little, you know, just arrogant around the scenes and abrasive. And then he has to straighten me out. And, you know, I can take it personally. I can say, you know, hey, forget it, I'm out of here. But, no, you know, I go home and I'm thinking like, you know, he's already proven what a champion he is. You know, I got to do some soul searching too. So, you know, parents have to listen to their kids. But the kids have to be invested into it before parents will listen. They have to know that their kids have accomplished something, that they've embraced the grind, and that they're willing to go,
out of their comfort zone every single day, and then that gives them a right maybe sometimes to stand up and say, hey, you told me this. You told me this one day, and now you're not doing it. And, Brian's come to me with those truths, and it's made me a better man and a better coach and, a better father. Because of the today's. But everybody's got to be in it to win it, You can't just take the lesson, drop the off, and not be invested, and then
That's not going to get
once
it.
you win that fight, you're better than that, and this and that. It's like, well, when you're in your Cracker Jacks watching, television every single day, and you're not practicing, and you're not, practicing the hard basics, it ain't gonna happen for you. You gotta be down in that basement growing up and no one was watching. Okay? Well, I learned my lesson another way. When I didn't think Brian was like maybe totally vested, he invited me up to half acre gym up in Wyoming, where he went to college, and I said, you're leading the workout today. And it was me, Madman, Hector Cage, and he did the battle.
And just preface this conversation, he didn't think that I was training on my own. So.
For conditioning, I'm thinking like, he's slacking a little bit. And so I'm keeping track of him, So I went up there and said, you need to work out. And I'm a runner. No one's ever outrun me. I mean, I'm this day, the biggest limit of 170 pounds. Fit and lean as it can be. I still train every single day. Okay, I train hard before this session.
You work hard.
And,
yes.
I went up there, and he schooled me. I'm gasping for air. I finished second. I finished before everybody else at a body. And I was hurt. And this kid just was flying like a gazelle. I couldn't believe it. And then, even later on, I realized that, I put the harness on him and two rip boards. And I said, now pull me. Do steps. Do hooch and jump, do junction number one, double junction. And he took off so hard and so fast, he didn't realize it, but my feet slipped up from underneath me, and he was pulling me across the floor like a turtle on his back.
Wow, we got not to cut you off, Master Gallagher, but we got Bernard Posey just posted good battles with Brian Gallagher. 1 minute ago he posted good battles with Brian Gallagher. So these guys are recognizing the accomplishments and the honor and such a great athlete that your son is and that Brian is. You know what I'm saying? They already see that, and I again, I want to. We're getting close to our hour, but my thing is, I have a couple of questions basically for both of you. Not a couple, just maybe two. But my main question I'm going to ask first to both of you all, and I let both of y'all answer the questions separately a piece. But so I guess I'll go with Master Gallagher. Well, we'll save the best for last.
Yes.
I'll save the best answer for last.
Rightfully
so. Let's go for Brian first. My first question, main question would be to you is, how do you feel about Taekwondo right now? Because I know our listeners want to know, our listeners want to hear that. And where would you like Taekwondo to go?
I'm the first, just for me, Brian?
Yeah, yes.
Yeah, I don't, if I'm going to be completely transparent and honest, it's disheartening for me, based on the time period that I fought in, again, to see where it's at, as far as being a little bit tiptoe and this and that, but that's not to discourage any of the future athletes out there, because you have to adjust to the scenario, and we've all had to adjust to that. We're used to, I think we all remember, Thunder's impact.
Yeah.
Was scores back in our day.
Yeah.
And that was a huge impact in our lives. But I would say that I don't want any future athletes to be discouraged. I want them to continue to train and adjust. Just train and adjust. I firmly believe that if we could turn it into a combined impact and technical game, then I think it would be a great visual for spectators to be able to see.
Yeah.
And it would be, I would be really happy with it. I don't like I don't like where, I guess what I'm seeing is I don't like being, just attacked all day long, is what I'm saying, because it's for people to adjust. It's just people that are able to use their lead leg and be longer. And I get what they're trying to do and take it out of the referee's hands, but there's nothing better than seeing you Arnell against Peter Lopez throwing quadruples against each other. To be honest with you, so
yeah. I would love for the game to continue to
he's back to where it was.
Well, to go back to where he's right.
Right.
He's telling the truth. You know,
Right.
the Taekwondo is an impact sport.
Yes.
It's not. Again, not to take away from what all these athletes are doing is just adjusting to what the system is requiring them to do.
They're playing the part.
Yes, they're playing this. They're playing the part in order for them to get to where they want to go or to get past each match.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But I'm pretty sure if the rules have changed, they would have to go right back to the same old style that they know, and it'd be a total different game.
Yeah.
You know, it'd be a total different game. And he's 100% right. I believe him. I know he's right because I agree.
Yeah.
So same question to Master Gallagher. Question one was, first part of that question was, how do you feel about Taekwondo right now in its present moment, and where would you like Taekwondo to go?
I just like to see, forget all those points and, getting points for the tournament, your division, those points against, this is what one of my complaints was based on. And when they ask for, what do you want for your solution? And I stated that I wanted a fair process. I wanted a fair process that would eliminate all of the politics, all of the favoritism, anything else like that.
Right.
Let's just run it like a real
Fair and square.
independent martial art. Let's get the very best together and say, all right, we want to field 4 possible athletes for the Olympics. Okay, you don't have to go to any people. You just have to come to this one big fight off, and just get them down. Just get all the best athletes, and then get down to the top of the pool. Yes, you have to earn it along the way. You have to be in a winning mode. You have to be considered a top athlete. That's without saying. We know that. It's for every athlete, it's a 4-year process, where the Olympics is concerned. But I want to get back to, the regular uniforms, the regular trembling shock impact. I want to get back to the sport the way it was played back in the day when almost when they weren't even wearing helmets. And they went out. There were noses broken with axe kicks. There were things happening that just made it really exciting for the sport. And here's a thought. When UFC and MMA first started, Taekwondo was considered the weakest of all of the martial arts.
Right.
It was considered the weakest. Everybody laughed because, they saw us, hitting, chest gear and stuff like this. But that was people that really didn't understand the true effect of a Taekwondo kick, spin hook kick, and the power that it could generate. Earlier I alluded to there are no, advanced techniques or only advanced basics because you can't throw a spin hook kick, you can't throw a round kick.
Right.
Right.
If you take a picture of the foot when those kicks finish, and you ask somebody what kick are they throwing, they wouldn't be able to answer you. But they'd have to say, that's a round kick, that's a double, that's a spin hook kick, because the foot should be in the same position. Technically, that's the highest level of the sport. You can achieve that. So, last year I ran a video of the top 10 knockouts in MMA. They were front snap kicks to the face. They were Taekwondo kicks. They were round kicks to the neck. Taekwondo kicks.
Correct.
The top 5 knockouts were Taekwondo kicks. All right? But we're not doing that now. We're not doing that in our sport. But in being considered the weakest of all the martial arts in UFC and mixed martial arts, they're throwing kicks with Taekwondo that we're not throwing in Taekwondo now. I don't know if that makes sense to you, but
It makes perfect sense.
Yes, sir.
Makes perfect sense.
yes.
So I think GT basic, like it, to answer the question like a little bit more fine-tuned or basic, is that we believe in what we like the Taekwondo that we were used to, and I think the system is what you guys are asking about. Is like I firmly believe I didn't need to fight local events when I got to a certain point. You know what I mean? Like I focused on nationals, make the top 4, and get into trial. And I feel like that's what it should be. You should win your fight by fighting, not by a ranking system by somebody who might have financially a better opportunity than you to be able to go to multiple events and just
Exactly, because that's how the game is being played now. If you got the money to go, you're gonna get the most points, and you're gonna be the top ranked.
I don't like that, and so if you ask the question, I'm answering it. Like I think that it should still be like old school team trials.
Yes.
You earn it. You make top 4, and there's a couple wild cards because of injuries or whatever. I'm okay with that.
Earn your keep.
So,
Earn your keep, man. You're absolutely right. Earn your keep. If you want to be the best, you got to earn it. That's where me and you came from. That's where me and you came from. That's where all of our coaches came from, period. Earn your keep.
I don't think finances should ever be a part of who's the best in the division. Ever. So, I don't know if Bernard was on here live or hearing, but I hope he knows that I said to the world that he was my toughest competitor. So
Yeah, and I also want to say Bernard's got the best punch in the game.
Well, you know what, man? We're gonna see. Matter of fact, we're gonna see if we can get Bernard Posey on the show soon. Hopefully, we can get him on the show. But we got a couple of people that that are basically kind of lined up after you guys. You guys were basically the first up and running, and we wanted to get you guys out there first because I think your story, Brian and Master Gallagher is very important. Number one, to the sport of Taekwondo, due to the fact of number one, Brian is a world class athlete. That's number one, and number two, his father was one of the best coaches in USA Taekwondo and USTU when it was named that at that particular time.
Right.
So that's you guys' story must be told and had to be told first. But with all that being said, man, we're almost done with our segment here. We're actually really done. We're already past our time, but the floor was your guys'. You guys could pretty much, we can go all night if that's what you guys want to do, but we got to wrap it up. But I have one last question for Brian, and I'm going to ask this to every guest that we have on our show. And before we leave, and before you answer this question, first and foremost, I would like to know from both of you all: would you all like to be friends of the show?
100%.
100%. I'm glad to hear that. We're glad to hear that. Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
We're glad to hear that. So whenever we need to chime you guys in, and I'm pretty sure we'll give you a call. And of course, we apologize for the technical difficulties that we had this afternoon and today for our viewers and whatnot. We were really hoping that we could have got a second view on Brian and Master Gallagher, but
we'll have future time.
We'll definitely have that now because there'll be friends of the show. Where eventually we'll be able to be sending you guys I Survived strap up T-shirts. So make sure you guys can rock those shirts when we get those made. Things are working forward, but again, let's get back to the last question.
And then let's have Master Robert Gallagher with the closing remarks.
Yes, and then we'll have Master Gallagher with the closing remarks. Brian, my question to you is: I'm going to ask every guest on this show the same question before we end their segment. My question to you is, Brian, name your top 5.
Straight up, just name my top 5?
Name
Yes,
your
sir.
top 5 fighters in your division.
Your toughest fights.
Name your top 5, bro. Your top 5.
Top 5. You went with 5, huh? Yeah, all right.
Okay, hey, bro. I said my top 5. You gotta. Hey, look. You gotta do the same, man. And every guest after you is gonna say the same thing, bro. Top 5, bro.
All right, straight up, I understand.
And hey, before you answer, right? Before you answer, you don't have to say me because this is our show. It's okay.
And let's keep in mind, Brian, he almost forgot you, so it will even up.
I feel like you want me to say you, but like, so, like it's not gonna happen. Like, all right, how am I ranking?
You can go from the bottom to the top.
Let's go. Let's. Why don't we start at number 5?
All right, number 5.
No, I'll go top to bottom. Like toughest to reach, like in my experience, I'll go from top to bottom.
All right.
That's what I'll do.
All right.
But Bernard Posey is definitely number 1. Super tough. I wish he was on right now so he could hear me actually express that to him, because I just, even though I beat him, I struggled because of his, he just had his length, his speed, and his movement was just, and his technique was just incredible.
Wow.
Nobody's going to ever believe me unless they hear this. Like, Bernard Posey was my toughest.
Well, that's what this is all about, bro. That's what Strap Up is all about. Your voice right here. That's number 1. Bernard Posey, toughest fighter. Brian Gallagher has said is the toughest fighter that he said it live on the show. Strap Up.
Yep.
So, as no ifs, ands, or buts. And I remember when Bernard was Baby B, because I used to watch Baby B when he was a Baby B.
Yeah.
When he was a Baby B.
I'm being completely honest with you guys. I told my dad this for years.
Yeah.
Like, 09 national team trials, I really wanted to make my fifth national team, and unfortunately, I was able to sneak in attack in overtime, but I swear to God, Bernard Posey, number 1. That's top.
Wow.
Number 2, you guys might not be surprised, but maybe you will be, but Tim Thackeray, oh my God.
Tim Thackeray is, let me tell you something. I fought Tim, so I know what you're going to say.
Tim Thackeray is super tricky. Like, number 2.
He's a trickster. He's a trickster.
Oh, he's a trickster. I was so young because I was 15 when I fought team trials as a senior, and I beat him at Fort Worth International Open before they were about to go on a national team trick, and they were all pissed at me. The OTC was pissed at me. Like, pissed at me. And I beat him 14-6. We got into like an actual brawl in the middle of the ring. It was cool. Josh Coleman was all over there. Tom Lee was there. But I beat him. But then when we got to team trials, I beat, Christian Melendez and Chris Martinez and all this. But
Christian Melendez, Puerto Rico.
He's still good. He's still good 2-0. I couldn't do shit. I saw Tim Thackeray go with a Lucian backleg double. Like no one. Both of them pop. Yeah, I got to. Yeah. And I love Tim. Yeah, Tim's not one of my favorite people in the world. I love that. Yeah, that's number 2. Number 3, Terrence Henning, obviously big rival. It's just one of those things with Terrence is that if you fight his game, you're gonna just blow up the scorecard, right? It's gonna be like 11-9, 10-9. But if you can pull him into your game, he can get frustrated sometimes.
Yeah.
So that's the ways that I beat, like the times that I beat him is when I made him a little bit frustrated. That's all I'm saying. Mm-hmm. But he's number 3, definitely. Number 4, Arnell. We only fought one time, but like it was difficult because I was frustrated because I thought I kind of like was able to like dictate the fight in the ring, and you were just so damn fast. It was.
You didn't have to do that. Thank you, bro.
Hey, Brian, the check is already in the mail on its way.
Wait, I didn't hear that. We didn't hear that. What did you say?
Yes.
The check. He said the check.
Your check is already there. Certified. It's on the way.
Yeah, we'll get invited to the show again, maybe. Jesus is a rival of mine. Like, I don't know any event that we weren't matched up in the first round or whatnot. So, like, but Bernard is the depth, like, and I'm not saying this to blow smoke. I mean, I don't think anybody would ever, like, ask me this. But Bernard Posey was legitimately my toughest competitor. I told my dad this for years. I was like, Dad, I am struggling against his length and his speed and everything. Like, it is difficult for me. And I just have to kind of just be savvy and be a veteran. And I don't want to use this story right now, but I've got a massive story for you guys.
Well, you know what, Brian? What we'll do is because of our time and what we'll do is we'll have a part 2, man.
Yes.
How do you guys feel about a part 2?
Yeah. No, he needs to be on though, because I got a story for you guys, and it's going to blow your mind because of how I made 2009 national team.
Well, you know what? Why don't we do when we do your part 2? How about we try to bring in Bernard Posey into part 2?
We can't try. He has to be in on it.
Okay.
Then that's what we're.
So that's non-negotiable.
It's non-negotiable. Yeah. So what we'll do is we'll see if we can. Well, why don't you? We'll see. Number one, we'll see what this is. Strap up, man. So we'll see what Bernard does. If Bernard, hey Bernard,
if
you hear us, man, if you're still on, or if you're not, you probably hear this feed or whatever like that later on tonight.
The challenge has already been set.
The challenge already been set, man. It's going to be
time to strap up.
It's time to strap up. Bernard Posey versus Brian Gallagher. We want you on the show, bro. So won't you go ahead and give us a hit on a DM message? Let me know what's up, man. Let me know. But let's get to number 5, bro. Number 5. Oh, he said Jesus. You know what? Jesus Armendariz is is a very fast.
I think I fought him like 40 times in my career, man.
Oh my God.
Ridiculous.
But before we leave, guys, before we leave the show, man, I'd like to say this, man. That's what Taekwondo is my life is all about.
Right.
I know you guys probably seeing our T-shirts. Taekwondo is my life. A lot of people have said, Arnell is just Taekwondo is just like that's all he knows and all he does. No, Taekwondo is my life is a statement, and that statement is basically a representation of you, Brian Gallagher, and
it's
me.
Not just geared directly to one person.
Exactly. Because Taekwondo is my life is because Brian Gallagher was doing Taekwondo and has been doing Taekwondo since he's been a child.
Yes.
And it's not that all he knows because he's very educated.
Right.
I'm very educated.
And also, Brian, that would be also something to include in part 2.
Yeah.
What we was talking about, this is what I said. A lot of conversation that we had before we even went live.
Yeah.
Which was so important. Even what Brian was saying. And Brian, I would want you to share with the audience your experience as a college student as well.
Yes.
And an athlete.
As a collegiate athlete. And a lot of people forget this, Brian. Remember, I know you know this. You have to be in school in order for you to go to the university games. You got to be in school in order for you to go to collegiate team trials.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously, we're not stupid. You know what I mean? Obviously, we're very educated. You know what I'm saying?
And education is not on the back burner.
Exactly, education is not on the back burner. But. Man, let me tell you something. We're gonna get Master Gallagher to go ahead and wrap it up for us. But we would like to say everybody out there that's viewing, that has viewed on our show. It's been an hour and 50-minute segment. We kind of went over, but guess what? It's just due.
Right.
We're gonna have a part 2 to this on Brian Gallagher and Master Robert Gallagher, and hopefully we can bring in Bernard Posey. And I'm going to tell you guys this, man. We appreciate everybody. We want you guys to follow Strap Up. We want everybody to follow www.gsta20.com. Follow us on Instagram. Friend me on Facebook at Master Arnell Smith. And you can go on our YouTube channel, subscribe, and hit that notification button, Global Sport 2.0 TV. We're going to have these segments going back and forth. We're going to have Brian back and forth with us as a friend of the show. We're going to have Master Gallagher as a friend of the show, one of the top athletes, one of the top coaches in the U.S. Olympic sport. Master Gallagher, won't you go ahead and take us out, sir?
Well, first off, I'm humbled to have the opportunity to sit and speak to you guys. With my son, especially, in his great career. As you're talking, I'm thinking about, when we came up when he was 3 years old, he started this thing, and I can see it like it was yesterday. But I'll just say this: excellence will meet resistance by those less motivated. And what that simply means is, my son has a tattoo on his arm. It's something we've been teaching for years. Excellence will meet resistance by those less motivated. And what that means is simply, at any level, whether it's parental, athlete, political, if you're good and you know you're good, and you're good through results and through data and statistics, and somebody is trying to put up a roadblock, that simply means that they're resisting excellence.
Right.
Because they're less motivated.
Can't be said any better.
Speak the truth.
You gotta overcome that. That's you find out what you're made of. I never wanted to fight anybody. I never wanted to complain. But when you change the rules in midstream, you deserve to be called out.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Strap up.
Simply because, all we were doing was the right thing. We were training, we were winning, and I knew we got proactive. I knew that, we weren't at nationals because we had a legitimate knee injury. And so they tried to blackball us, and so we got proactive and we went, and the two people that took first and second at nationals were competing in a tournament, and we beat them both. And then they took, and that was after the injury. So we did what we had to do, and when they tried to fight us, we won.
Yeah.
We won. But we did everything through integrity and honesty. We've never had any controversies. But when you're doing what you're supposed to do, you're going to meet resistance.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Okay? So to all your parents, to anybody listening, anybody that's fighting the battle and they feel like they can't beat it, all you got to do is keep working. My mom taught me that years ago. If you're author of your own book, you dictate your happiness, your success. All of your failures are on you. All of the successes are on you. No one gets to tell you how happy or sad you want to be, all right, except for you.
Absolutely.
So you either, you fight the battle out, or, you just give up.
Absolutely.
But that wasn't within us. We fought as long as we could. My son still has a plate in his arm. He had osteoarthritis. He has flare-ups. He left it all out there. And because we live in Colorado, we filled the USAT bleachers with all of our students. Yeah, there were hundreds of our students and friends and everybody, because we lived, basically we were local. We didn't have to fly, we just lived right down the street. So we took the USAT, the national governing body, we did everything the right way. I registered all my students through USAT. I served as a state coach. I worked in the board of directors. I did everything I possibly could. And I spoke my mind. But there was never any controversy behind it. It was just always for the athletes, not just for my son, but for all of the athletes. And, someday, when people look back, they'll know that was the truth. And we strapped up and did it.
Absolutely.
Good Lord. And guess what, ladies and gentlemen?
That can't be said any better than that.
Can't be said any better than that, man. And there you have it.
Yes.
There you have it from the man.
One of the greats.
One of the greats, one of the top coaches in the game, man. There you have it. Strap up is live and in charge, and this is what we're doing. We're telling the truth, and hopefully we can come back again and we are going to come back again
Absolutely.
and have a part
Yes.
2 with Brian Gallagher. We're going to have an exclusive. I want to have an exclusive
Yes.
with Master Gallagher.
Yes.
I want to have
Yes.
a matter of fact, if we can get out there and sit
Yes.
down
That
and have an
has to be
exclusive with
worked.
Master Gallagher,
Yes.
we're going to have to figure that out.
has
We're
to
going to have
be
to make
worked
that work
We're
out.
going to make that work.
Yeah, we're going to have that
Well
work.
deserved.
Yeah, we're going to well deserved. And get Cast Promotions out there, have an exclusive with Master Gallagher. And, you know, man, we're just so blessed and so happy. But
Yes.
thank you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you, Master
Thank you
Gallagher
for
and
the time.
Brian. Thank you for your time. We're going to definitely come back and have you guys back on the show. We again, we love you guys. Again, if it wasn't for you guys, we wouldn't be in this position. I wouldn't be. I'm going to say this again, Brian. I'm going to say this again, bro. Arnell Smith-Bey at that particular time, he would not have been of the fighter he was if he didn't run into you.
No, I appreciate it, bro. Make sure when we're on the next episode, you gotta make sure Patrice is on the phone, and Bernard is on the phone. I want everybody on the phone.
We're going to get him on the phone, bro.
Absolutely. We're going to definitely work that out.
Matter of fact, if you could do your part and get them on the phone.
Yes, call them out.
Call them
Call 'em
out. We're going to strap up. Everybody got to strap up. That's what it is.
Strap up.
Strap up, bro. All right. Thank you, bro. Thank you guys, man, so much, man.
All right.
We appreciate it, man.
Appreciate you all. Keep
Yes.
doing what you're doing. We're going to support you, and you'll continue to support us.
Thank you for having us, so that we can, relive a lot of great memories of old school Taekwondo, but also encourage the future of new Taekwondo. So we appreciate you.
Yeah, Arnell, what you guys are both doing is just incredible. So lots of love to both of you.
Thank you.
Thank
We
you.
appreciate
We
it,
appreciate
sir.
that.
Thank you. All right.
Well,
All right, guys.
They
They
can't say any better
can't
than
be
that.
said any better than that,
But-
man. That was awesome, man.
Yeah,
You know,
you
so
know, it's
to our listeners right now, man, you know, we want you guys to keep following us on Strap Up. Remember, you see that bar at the bottom right there. It says www.gsca20.com. Follow us on Instagram, GSCA_2.0. Follow us and friend us on Facebook, Master Arnell Smith, Global Sport 2.0 TV. On Instagram, make sure they subscribe and they
Yes,
click that
subscribe.
notification button.
And-
There's going to be more videos
Right.
to come.
And please go back and look at the previous episodes too.
Yes.
Then they can actually get a little bit more in-depth comprehension of who we were actually just talking to right
Yeah,
now.
man.
So, I mean, the accolades is already laid
I
out.
ain't gonna lie, Keith. I'm just a little disappointed, man. I'm a little disappointed.
Because you're in the four.
Well, you know, ain't not.
Well, look, just look at it backwards, and then you'll be up in rank number 2 at least. Again, but on a serious note, I
Yeah.
think what Master Robert Gallagher said really hit home when we were talking about when you're fighting and you got truth on your side.
Yeah.
You never give up that fight.
Yeah.
Regardless the odds, regardless who you're going to have to face or what you got to run into, the obstacles are going to be there because, again, you're blocking excellence.
Yeah.
So as long as you have truth on your side, do not give up that fight. Because the
Absolutely.
only thing that you can really do that will be destructive is to give up on it when you know you got truth on your side.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, that could not have been said any
It's
better.
any better than that.
So,
We again, we love you guys. Continue to keep following us. Continue
Yes.
to keep subscribing. Continue to keep friending us. Comment, like, subscribe.
yes, as always,
As always.
like, share, post, comment, respond. Let us know what you think.
Yes.
Let us know how you think what we're doing. If you like it, it's fine. If you don't, it doesn't matter. Hey, we love it. We're going to continue to do what we're doing. Again, with the support of great people like Master Robert Gallagher, Brian Gallagher, and some of the people that are on the feed.
Yeah.
This is what makes this platform possible. This makes this platform all worth what we're doing. So this is for you all. For everybody else out there, please stay safe. Always, health and wealth is the first concern. So do everything that you can in the midst of this pandemic. But until then, we're going to continue to bring out whatever we can be more beneficial for you. And also, next upcoming episodes, we'll pull more great people just like that. I mean, I think for anybody else that's lined up to get on this show, I mean, you're following a real, you got big shoes to fill.
But guess what? You got big shoes to fill. But guess what? If they don't like it,
strap up.
all right, guys, man, we're out, man.
Be safe.
Be
please.
safe, man. Make sure you guys do that.
Wait till it closes out. Wait till the whole thing. Yeah. So that's just the runoff delay.
it's still.
That's it. Boom. Good.
It's still.
Good show though.
Okay, you know.
If you're in this line here now, you'll be able to choose if you want to save or delete it. And